Hi there, welcome back to American Lingo Academy. I'm Luna, and today we're going to learn 10 super useful phrasal verbs that native English speakers use all the time in everyday conversation. These are words you'll hear when people talk about food, money, disagreements, and getting started on something new. I'm going to explain each one really clearly and give you examples that will help you understand exactly how to use them. So let's get started. Number 1, dine out. This phrasal verb means to eat at a restaurant instead of eating at home. It's a very common way to talk about going to a restaurant for a meal. When you dine out, you're choosing to have someone else cook your food and serve it to you at their restaurant. For example, imagine it's Friday night and you've been working hard all week. You're too tired to cook dinner, so you call your friend and say, "I don't feel like cooking tonight. Do you want to dine out? There's a nice Italian restaurant downtown." This shows that you want to go eat at a restaurant instead of staying home. Here's another one. Let's say you're talking to your coworker about your weekend plans. She asks what you usually do on Saturday nights. You might answer, "My husband and I love to dine out on Saturdays. It's our special time together, and we try different restaurants around the city." Number 2, dine out on. This one is a little different from just dine out. When you dine out on something, it means you keep talking about an interesting story or experience over and over again, usually because it makes you look good or makes people pay attention to you. For example, imagine your friend met a famous actor at the airport last month. Now, every time you see her, she tells that same story to everyone. You might say to another friend, "She's been dining out on that story for weeks now. Yes, it was exciting, but we've all heard it 10 times already." Here's another one. Think about a coworker who once had a great idea that saved the company some money. Even though that was 2 years ago, he still brings it up in every meeting. Your boss might joke, "Tom is still dining out on that idea from 2023. We appreciate what he did, but it's time for some new contributions." Number 3, dip in. This phrasal verb means to put something briefly into a liquid or substance, or it can mean to start reading or looking at something quickly without going through the whole thing. It's a short, quick action. For example, you're eating French fries at a restaurant and there's ketchup on the table. You pick up a fry and dip in the ketchup before eating it. You might tell your friend, "I love to dip in ketchup. It makes the fries taste so much better." Here's another one. Let's say you bought a new cookbook with 200 recipes. You don't have time to read the whole book right now, but you want to see what's inside. You tell your sister, "I haven't read the whole cookbook yet, but I like to dip in whenever I have a few minutes. I've already found 3 recipes I want to try." Number 4, dip into. This phrasal verb usually means to use part of your money that you've been saving, often when you didn't plan to. It can also mean to start learning about a subject briefly. The key idea is that you're taking a little bit from something larger. For example, imagine you've been saving money for a vacation, but suddenly your car breaks down and you need repairs. You might tell your friend, "I really didn't want to, but I had to dip into my vacation savings to fix my car. Now I'll have to save for a few more months before the trip." Here's another one. Think about a student who is interested in learning about psychology, but isn't ready to take a full course yet. She might say, "I've been dipping into some psychology books at the library. I'm not studying it seriously, but I find it really interesting." If you're enjoying this lesson and learning something new, please take a second to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel. We upload new videos every single day to help you speak English more naturally and confidently. Your support really means a lot to me, and it helps other learners find these lessons too. Number 5, dip out. This is an informal phrasal verb that means to leave suddenly or earlier than expected, often without telling people or without a good reason. Young people use this expression a lot when talking about parties or social events. For example, you're at a birthday party with your friends, but you're not having a good time. Instead of saying goodbye to everyone, you just quietly leave. The next day, your friend texts you and says, "Hey, why did you dip out last night? We were looking for you and you were just gone." Here's another one. Imagine you're supposed to meet your study group at the library at 6 o'clock, but you decide you're too tired, and you just go home without telling anyone. Your classmate might say, "We waited for you for 30 minutes. You can't just dip out like that without letting us know." Number 6. Disagree with. This phrasal verb means that something doesn't match your opinion, or it can mean that something, especially food, makes you feel sick or uncomfortable. It's a very common expression in everyday English. For example, you're in a meeting at work and your boss suggests a new schedule that would require everyone to work on Sundays. You think this is a bad idea, so you raise your hand and say, "I'm sorry, but I have to disagree with this plan." Many of us have families, and Sunday is our only day to spend time with them. Here's another one. Let's say you ate some seafood at a restaurant last night, and now your stomach hurts. You're talking to your doctor and you explain, "I think the shrimp disagreed with me. I felt fine before dinner, but a few hours later I got really sick." Number 7, dish out. This phrasal verb has two main meanings. It can mean to serve food by putting it on plates, or it can mean to give something, usually criticism or punishment, often in a harsh way. For example, it's Thanksgiving dinner, and you're sitting at the table with your whole family. Your mother brings a big turkey from the kitchen and starts putting slices on everyone's plates. Your little brother says, "Mom always dishes out the biggest portions to Dad because he eats so much." Here's another one. Think about a coach who is very strict with his basketball team. Whenever players make mistakes during practice, he criticizes them loudly. One player might say to another, "Coach really knows how to dish out criticism. He doesn't hold back when we mess up, but I guess that's how we get better." Number 8, dish up. This phrasal verb means to serve food, usually onto plates or into bowls. It's very similar to dish out, but dish up is usually just about the act of serving, not about giving criticism or punishment. For example, you've just finished cooking a big pot of spaghetti for your family. Everyone is sitting at the dinner table waiting to eat. You bring the pot over and say, "Okay, everyone, I'm going to dish up the spaghetti now. Tell me if you want a big portion or a small one." Here's another one. Imagine you're at a potluck dinner where everyone brings a different dish to share. Your friend made a delicious-looking casserole, and people are lining up with their plates. She calls out, "Come over here and I'll dish up some of this chicken casserole for you. I made plenty, so don't be shy." Number 9, dive in. This phrasal verb means to start doing something immediately and energetically without hesitation. It can be about starting to eat food or starting any activity with enthusiasm. The image is like jumping into a swimming pool. For example, you've been working on a difficult project all morning and you're finally done. Now it's lunchtime and you're very hungry. Your coworker ordered pizza for everyone, and when it arrives, she says, "The pizza is here. Everyone dive in before it gets cold." Here's another one. Let's say you just started a new job and there's a lot to learn. On your first day, your manager gives you several training manuals and a list of tasks. She says, "I know it's a lot of information, but just dive in and do your best. Don't worry about making mistakes at first. That's how you learn." Number 10, dive into. This phrasal verb is very similar to dive in, but dive into is usually followed by the specific thing you're starting. It means to start doing something with a lot of energy and focus, or to begin studying or discussing something in detail. For example, you've been wanting to learn how to play guitar for years and you finally bought one. You're so excited that you start practicing for 3 hours every day. Your roommate might say, "Wow, you really dove into learning guitar. I can hear you practicing all the time, and you're already getting pretty good." Here's another one. Imagine you're in a book club and everyone just finished reading a mystery novel. At your meeting, someone immediately starts asking questions about who the killer was and why. Your friend might say, "Okay, let's dive into the discussion. I have so many thoughts about the ending. and I want to hear what everyone else thinks. And that's it. Those are 10 phrasal verbs that you'll hear all the time in American English. I hope these examples helped you understand how to use them in real conversations. Remember, the best way to learn these expressions is to practice using them yourself. Try making your own sentences with these phrasal verbs, or listen for them when you're watching TV shows or talking with English speakers. Thanks so much for watching today's lesson. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and I'll see you tomorrow with another helpful English lesson. Keep practicing and remember you're doing great.